So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. It's a bit later on a Thursday in September, an international break. We've just watched Ireland be very Ireland today against France, and by Ireland be very Ireland, I mean they huffed and puffed and did absolutely nothing really against the team that came here, or the team that sailed to a 2-0 win. But that's not the topic of conversation today, Paddy. Just wanted to come on and just, I suppose this is what we would term kind of like the calm before the storm, really, because our live podcast is on this Saturday and we finally got there. Even today, there was a lot of rushing around. There was a lot of confirmation and stuff. There was a number of how many seats were going to be in the venue given at one stage today, Paddy. If I was there, I could have seen. If I was in Paddy's vicinity to see when I rang him and said about number of tickets in the number of seats in the venue today, if I could have seen his reaction, I think it would have been priceless. But we're there. We've everything sorted, thankfully, and I'm really looking forward to the weekend, Paddy. I'm really looking forward to Saturday, and we'll get to it and we'll talk about that in a moment. But a couple of other things, I suppose, Paddy, before we get on to that going on in Villa Park. I didn't talk to you about the Liverpool loss in 6 sentences or less, Paddy. What's your feeling on that game against Liverpool the weekend?
I don't think I could possibly sum it up in 6 sentences.
I'm joking about 6 sentences.
Yeah, look, people have tended to lose their shit when we come out with results like this. We're just not there yet. That's the long and the short of it. No matter where we want to be, we're not there yet. We're still a good bit off. We're like, there was nobody ended the transfer window going, we're in a really good place to be pushing for top 4. So I think we can expect to have tough days against Liverpool, tough days against Newcastle away from home. So either way, there's a number of things at play with the Liverpool game. I thought Emi Martinez was unsighted by an offside player for the first goal. Would he have saved it? Probably not. But them's the rules. Whether he was unsaved or not, there was a guy who made him duck his head to see the ball because he was in an offside position. So anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
That ultimately sets the tone for the day. We struggled to recover. I think we saw the first selection mistake from our manager in that he should have probably brought on Clement Longley and kept it as it was at that stage. I didn't think Leon Bailey was the answer. Maybe Zaniolo was the answer. But I'm not picking the team, and I'm not going to be overly critical of what he did, but I think it was a mistake. I think he should have went with his original thought. It changed our system and invited them on a little bit further, and there seemed to have a whole lot more space for that little long ball that we're playing. And look, we've got to be better at defending that long ball from the front. That was my overriding opinion, having sat in the back row of that lower tier, watching it all day long on not all day long. They obviously didn't do it all day long, but that was from what I saw. That would be my opinion. And we've obviously got to be better at playing the ball out from the back, because I lost count of the number of times that I looked up and we had a goal kick, and I looked down or I turned to the side or somebody said something to me, and then we didn't have the ball. Just as simple as that. A couple of seconds later, we don't have the ball. And it just seemed to be par for the course. So there's still a lot of work to be done. We're a week into a week's downtime with most of the squad still there. So I'm absolutely fine that we will see this first half of the season the same way as we saw the back end of last season, that we'll win the games we should have won. We'll put up a good fight in the games that we probably shouldn't win. And we'll still be there or thereabouts, as in 6th or 7th by the time the January transfer window rolls around. So still a lot of play. We could see Philippe Coutinho go out the door tomorrow. If that happens, good luck to him. But unfortunately, now we're thin on the ground, and Carlos picking up another injury is slightly worrying. But I don't think it's as bad as obviously what he picked up last year. So hopefully he's back training this week and it is back to full fitness next week. Because otherwise, we're going to be very, very, very light at the back, and probably too light to be playing a back five. And I suppose for the positives, we saw Moreno back on the grass today.
Yeah.
So good luck to him. I hope he's fully fit and raring to go in a couple of weeks.
Just a little piece, actually. I was sent this by a good mate of mine who works in the statistics industry. Passes completed by Torres to Digne against Everton over a 90-minute period is 22 passes. Versus Liverpool, how many passes did Torres complete to Digne, Paddy?
Very little.
1.
There you go. That's what I mean about that passing the ball out from the back. Every time I looked up, we'd lost the ball, and I just scratching my head, going, "I need to stop looking up. I stop looking down. I need to keep looking to see how are we losing this ball all the time."
Yeah,
it was just, Look, I think it's time. People have lost their shit this week. People are complaining about a lot of things. And I always say you're only as good as your last game. And unfortunately, this game has just fallen before an international break. So people have 2 weeks to lose their shit and give out about everything. They're giving out about the price of the ticket for the Carabao Cup game.
Talk to me about that, Paddy. Talk to me about that. And the reason I say that is I'm supremely unqualified to talk about it. You're a season ticket holder. I'm not. You know, talk to me about it. I'm very much splinters my arse on this one.
Well, I kind of have some splinters too, because obviously I'm not going to be able to make it. So I can't. I'm not going to be in a position to have to pay that $36.50 or whatever it is for whoever sees to pay for it. The one thing I will say is when I renewed my season ticket, the opening line was, or the standout thing in the letter was that we would not have the first cup match for free as we have done for years. And I said, yeah, absolutely fine. And the reason for me it was absolutely fine is because we want nice things, but we have to suffer. The ticket prices have gone up, the season ticket prices have gone up, and we can't now look for a free match. None of the teams that we're competing against do it anymore. So it's time to move on from that. And look, there's no point 3 months down the line complaining about it. I knew about it in May, and I couldn't understand what the furore was today or yesterday or the day before. And I just felt it was a hangover from the weekend that people were really pissed off.
I like the price of the actual game itself for the ticket has gone up. I suppose. Wait a minute. I said I'd splinters my arse. Now I wasn't going to comment on it, but here we go. I'm an Aston Villa fan. I'm fickle, as we said to David O'Leary. But I think one of the biggest things here is that the price of the ticket for the game has gone up, and there's a sense of, okay, yes, whatever, 15% increases on season tickets or something. I saw somewhere this now brings it closer to 20% when you factor in the fact that it's not a $36.50 minimum, depending on where you want to sit. And I suppose, yeah, look, put it this way, it feels like there was a lack of I can understand why people would feel there was a lack of transparency at that. When it was said, okay, people knew that the ticket wasn't going to be included, but the ticket price for it has gone up by, I'm just quoting something I saw on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think it's gone up by something like £16 from last year. I think it was £20 for the cheapest ticket last year, and now it's $36.50 or something. So that's I think that's where the ire is coming from a lot of people.
Well, I obviously, because Stephen is 18, so my 2 season tickets are an adult ticket and an under 21 ticket. So I had to upgrade Stephen's ticket for somebody who's using them against Crystal Palace next week because I can't go. And the price on that ticket is £40.50 for Holt End Lower, which was the cheapest seat in the house when I got them back when we were in the Championship. So that changed over the years. We're now paying multiple, well, not multiples, but a lot more than what we paid when we first got them. Look, I still stand over the fact that we have to take a little bit of pain. I understand that people are complaining. We're in a bad place financially. Everybody is watching their pennies, so it's going to be hard. I don't agree with boycotting it or anything like that. That kind of talk should have been saved for or given out in May when the renewals came out. But everybody was on the crest of a wave in May and just ignored the fact that they'd taken away that free cup game. So I have no opinion other than that I expected us to pay it, and it's going to have to be paid, unfortunately.
And other news this week, Paddy, I'm saving the Birmingham City Council news as well because I'm a lot more qualified to talk to the Birmingham City Council.
Yes, you are.
With regards to that. Now, I'm not fully qualified because I don't know how the Birmingham City Council, like how certain aspects work, but I'll give my opinion on that in a moment. But Ben Hatton is in the club, Paddy, or seems to be, will be soon. Former Manchester United administrator, and also seems to be a man who went into Blackpool and really steadied the ship in there. Blackpool, and left with some really warm wishes, it seems, from the club. Ben Hatton in as a COO. It seems like obviously the structure within Aston Villa is still ever changing. I always thought there would be another shoe to drop in there, as in another person coming in. A desperately tough job for just one man to do in for Chris Heck. And now he's got some help in there with Ben Hatton, and it seems like they've taken their time in appointing this, making this appointment, should I say?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about him either. And look, the more expertise that's in there to help Chris Heck with understanding how the game works here, or should I say in the UK, he's more than welcome, and I hope he does a great job. Look, you need a team around you. Someone like Chris Heck has operated, I'm sure, not just making the decisions by himself over the years, albeit he's made some great decisions throughout his career. So get experienced people in alongside him to help him make the really, really tough decisions that are going to have to come in line in the next few years, because if we're going to grow, we need the right people to make the right choices and not do silly things. Like, he's gone in and basically told us we're not keeping that badge as he sees it for now. I mean, he's just testing the water with it. And look, while I was annoyed at it,
I don't think he had a choice. I think it was all signed and they had it all done. And I went, yeah, I'm not fucking keeping this. This wasn't my baby, you know. So that was my view on it anyway. But yeah.
And look, I've no other real gripe with it. It's fine. It's no gripe at all, I should say. And look, another welcome addition in there to, you know, and it's like you and me, Neil. I need to stand here or sit here and put you in your place sometimes and tell you to stop talking and stuff like that. So they need people around them to give their opinion. If you're just hearing one voice, it's not good. So yeah. Good luck to him. I hope it goes well, and I hope it's a very positive appointment for us.
Yeah, they'll have two different jobs. Like, it's I know I was reading through Twitter last night, and look, Twitter is an amazing place. That's where I've met 90% of the people that listen to this podcast. And there's actually people that are coming to the live podcast on Saturday that when they introduce themselves to me, I might have to say, and what's your handle on Twitter? You know, because it's a great place. But sometimes I think within the space, and I'm desperately guilty of this myself, is there was an awful lot of discussions about the semantics of Ben Hatton coming in being called COO, Chief Operating Officer, and why wasn't he a CEO, chief, what, and then the semantics of, well, why aren't we bringing in a CEO? This just shows that we're being put around. The club needed a COO. That's why they've appointed a CEO. It doesn't mean that there won't be other people that won't be appointed down the line as well. He's gotten this job, and like Chris Heck I'm sure Chris Heck is going to bring in more and more people as and when the time comes up. And sometimes within clubs, you wait for the right person to become available. It's not like I can guarantee. Well, I don't know actually if this is the case, but if anybody can point me towards the listing on Hayes.co.uk that had or that was down the job centre for COO for Aston Villa, If you can point me towards that listing, then I gladly take a look at it. But a lot of the times that these people get appointed is through conversations or headhunting or seeking out somebody specifically. When that right person becomes available, they come into the club, and that's okay too. The club won't fall apart because we don't have a CEO. It's just a job by another name, essentially.
Absolutely
And
not.
and
And
Smithers
look,
will take on that role anyway.
I don't know whether this is the fact that it wasn't just big news or the fact that how busy I've been the last few days. But at 10:02, this message was put into our chat here, and that was the first I'd heard of it. So you talk about putting me on the spot.
I should have popped that up and go, what do you think? And then seen your face and got, it wasn't the right back I was expecting Emery to bring in, but
no, I did actually. You had started the podcast, so I googled it and I went, okay.
There we go. Yeah. And that brings me on, Paddy, I suppose, to the next point. And this is going to be a shorter podcast tonight, everyone. But next one is Birmingham City Council. Obviously, for all intents and purposes, citing bankruptcy after some I suppose some legal issues that they have, interest going up. I think something like 14 million per month is added on to the claims, to the payments they have to make with regards to equal payment from both men and women within the council. Not an ideal situation. They've already paid out something like 1.2 billion with regards to that, and they filed for bankruptcy, essentially for all intents and purposes. And I think a lot of people, the first thing went to, well, this is going to affect Aston Villa. It's going to affect the new train station, and that's it. The redevelopment isn't going to go ahead. It's not going to go ahead because Birmingham Council have filed for bankruptcy. And I don't think it's that simple, Paddy. I get your thoughts on it first, if you have any, before I launch into my diatribe on it.
I am going to let you totally take this one, Neil.
Okay. I actually made a few notes in it, because what I did was I wanted to go back and I wanted to try and find the a couple of things with regards to bidding processes and stuff like that. So I suppose realistically, my thoughts on this, and I'm 100% open to correction on this. I know how Irish legislation works. I know how bidding process here in Ireland works. I used to be involved in the architecture business, as in I was an architect. I was involved with feasibility studies for the design and the building of a new sports stadium in Ireland as well. So with regards to infrastructural funding and stuff like that, I have an insight as to where the funding comes from directly. And this stadium was potentially, well, it wasn't potentially, it was earmarked. The stadium didn't go ahead, but it was earmarked for as part of a bid for a sporting event as well. So while I'm 100% aware that this is Ireland I'm basing this on, I think that I'm 90% certain that the same rings true for the UK. So with regards to that, I kind of struggle to see why Birmingham City filing for bankruptcy would stop development of Villa Park. And the reason for this is because guarantees for the bid for UEFA 2028, which is between the UK and Ireland, have come from both the government and the FA. It looks, from looking at the bid proposal, I downloaded it, I tried to read through it, and I wasn't, to be honest with you, it's not the clearest document in the world, but most of them aren't because, of legalese that some of them have in there. But at no stage could I see that the infrastructural part of development would be funded by Birmingham City Council. At no stage. The funding, so with regards to the bid proposal, everything within the bid proposal seems to 100% focus on so the UK have said, we want you to be able to get to these stadiums as simple as possible. We want public transport to bring you there. And it was the UK government and the FA, when they put the bids in, that were staunch on that. Now, the Birmingham City Council thing, or obviously Birmingham City Council would be needed to apply planning, to apportion the funds potentially with regards to that, because they'll have the infrastructure and knowledge, the local knowledge of the area, local knowledge of the connecting routes and where all the bits and pieces fit in together. But I can't see anywhere within the bid proposal that any funding for a new station. Now, it doesn't name the station, the new station around Villa Park within the bid proposal. But it doesn't say anywhere that funding would have to come from local councils funding would be centrally allocated through, from my understanding of it, would be through the UEFA bid, which is allocated by the UK government and the FA. Now, couple of people are a couple of so also the other authority that were mentioned in it as well was the West Midlands Combined Authority. They're actually going to be in charge of the technical study. So Birmingham City Council might literally, the only thing they might do is just rubber stamp the planning application. That's all they might have to do. Because West Midlands Combined Authority, from my understanding, I mean, it's a very rudimentary understanding as well, is they're in charge of the technical studies and in charge of putting all the threads together as well, because of all the links that would be needed into the greater West Midlands area as well, because the fan base isn't just within the Birmingham area. Also, so what I was looking at as well is I was reading online, and specifically I was trying to read through all the document or all the reporting with regards to the Birmingham City Council, and it specifically mentions the European Games for Birmingham in 2024, is it, or 2024, 25, can't remember which one, and that they may be under threat. So I went and I looked at the bid proposal for them as well, and the co-signer on that bid proposal was Birmingham City Council. Co-signer on the UEFA bid proposal was not Birmingham City Council, it was the UK government and the FA. Now, so those European Games may be in difficulty from the Birmingham City Council piece as well, but the European Games will work largely off current infrastructure that's already been built, whether it be transport infrastructure or the new stadium, the new athletic stadium in Birmingham, whose name escapes me. So the differences between the two there are something that I've seen. Now, I would love to know somebody else, if there was somebody else that maybe could drop me a DM on Twitter or something like that to explain it, because it's an old game for me. I used to do this some time ago, but I'd love to know. Because to me, I can't see how Birmingham City going bust would in any way stop funding coming to a new train station in and around the Villa Park area. But I could be wrong. So there you go. There's my 4-minute soliloquy on that one.
Did it take 4 minutes?
Bit over.
Yeah, I understand that there's a couple of issues from the club's point of view with regards to compulsory purchase orders around the inner city academy. That is the biggest concern for the club with regards to what's happened in the last few days. I don't envisage it be a huge problem. I envisage that things will come and sort themselves out very quickly, as in before Christmas. I would imagine everything will be back up to normal, and normal service will be hopefully resumed with Birmingham City Council. But it's a strange one. It's a really strange one, and I, for one, can't remember any city council or any body like that ever going bankrupt.
Well, you don't have to think too far. East or Thurrock went bankrupt, and North Yorkshire went bankrupt all this week as well.
You're just joking.
Birmingham are the biggest by population, the biggest or by area. I'm not quite sure it is in the whole of Europe, so that's why it made the noise. Actually, sorry, I think Birmingham are biggest by population, and North Yorkshire are biggest by area in the whole of Europe. So there you go. Dunmore does his homework from time to time, doesn't he? They were the rabbit holes I went down when trying to figure out who was going to pay for it. Yeah. But there's a couple of them. I think Croydon and Thurrock actually both went bust as well. Both filed it. Yeah. It's seems to be a lot of other places are having issues with the gender pay disputes as well, and also just hangovers from austerity and stuff like that. But look, as I said, this isn't the political show, but it was just interesting to see it and to read from it and try and see what that effect would be on Aston Villa, because it's not going to have any effect on HS2, the high speed railway. That is still going to plow ahead, and
that's already started, isn't it? I think we've already sold the land, and the land has been divided off and everything at this stage.
Yeah. And I know that's a countrywide infrastructural development from the UK government, but also the UEFA bid is co-signed by the UK government, and it looks like all the funding and the apportioning of the funds will come directly from UK government and the FA. Yes, Birmingham City Council would have to rubber stamp it for something in their patch because they would know about it, but to best of my knowledge, Birmingham City Council weren't stumping up like 3 or 4 million to build a new railway station around Villa Park. I can't see any instance of that ever being mentioned anywhere. So for me, I don't know whether it would have that much detrimental effect, but I could be wildly wrong on this one as well.
Yep.
I think it could be wildly wrong, but anyway, it's all right. It's all right.
I think we should move on to some more cheerier news. What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's go for it, Paddy. Let's go for it. So we do have this, and I know you guys are going to be like, for those of you who can't come, you're going to be like, "Well, ever stop talking about the fucking live podcast?" But we are, and look, it's a big event. Look, whenever you make a drunken promise to somebody, and you end up keeping it, to me, that's what happened with this. We made a drunken promise in Lichfield over like about 15 pints of. I can't even remember. Well, we were sculling some local brewery's beer anyway. Over about 15 pints. But we made a promise to ourselves that we'd do this, and now we're actually here. It's actually quite amazing. You know, I suppose it's something we've been putting a lot of work into. There's been some amount of hills to climb and setbacks to overcome, even in the last fucking 48 hours. But you know, as I say, it's all coming together now. We've had loads and loads of support on this, and I think that's very fair to say that the event is sold out. People have returned some tickets and said to us, "Listen, I don't want any cash back for it or anything like that. But if somebody can have this ticket to go, they can have it." And Jesus, like, the generosity of people has been absolutely amazing.
Incredible. Yeah.
This is never ever going to be a money making venture for myself, for Paddy. We're actually like, this is something that we're actually in the raid for this, but it's going to be such a great occasion because there hasn't been a proper Aston Villa meetup in Ireland since 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
12.
Or was it 2012? Sorry.
Yeah.
When Villa were over here to play in Dennyman Park against Bohemians, there hasn't been a big gathering, and like, that's 11 years ago, and that is bonkers for a country that has so many Aston Villa fans. So from that point of view, it's just been brilliant to be able to put it on. We've had some serious support. The venue have been just brilliant. Like, Laughter Lounge have just been absolutely excellent, and it will be videoed. For anyone who's watching this as well, just to let you know, it will be videoed. So if you don't want to be on video, let us know and we can put you into the dark corner in the room if you need to be. So we'll tell the cameraman not to go near you because it will be videoed. And we will be putting this up on YouTube afterwards, you know, after the event, once the videographer comes back to us and stuff. But really looking forward. There's a lot of people coming over. I think you flashed up a piece there from Kieran. Kieran is coming over with a group of lads. Yeah. I know Paddy's doing some airport runs tomorrow morning for 9:10.
Saturday morning I'm doing airport runs, not tomorrow.
Saturday morning.
Yeah. Kieran asked, are you nervous about Saturday, guys? I actually met Max and Simon in Liverpool at the weekend, and Simon was going, "I've never stood up in front of that many people before." I have, but it's usually singing a song that I end up in front of people like that. So I'm hoping. Who
says you won't be singing? Who says I'm not going to spring it on you to sing a song at the weekend, Paddy?
Well, we might hear a couple of songs at the weekend, but I promise I'll only be joining in. I won't be actually singing the song.
Yeah.
We'll save that surprise for the day.
Exactly. But like, it's. Am I nervous? I'm not. I'm not really nervous. I'm more nervous because I want everybody to have a good time. I'm well used to making a fool of myself in front of people. I've done MC and compared boxing events. I've acted on stage, stuff like that. I'm perfectly okay with now. Watch me freeze when I go up there for some unexplained reason at the weekend, but it hasn't happened to me so far in any of the times I've ever been given a microphone in a big setting. So I'm not too nervous, but I'm just nervous. I want everybody to have a great day because, as I say, I've been looking forward to this. We actually put the wheels in motion 5 days after my son Dara was born. So like, it was the 11th of May, I think we put the wheels. No, we didn't. We put the wheels in motion just when we came back, but we kind of got everything rubber stamped on the 11th of May.
The wheels were set in motion. I told Max this at the weekend. I emailed this venue before I got back to the Aston Inn, on
That
that
was
night.
it. Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah. But I suppose,
that's how long ago the wheels were in motion, just to get a feedback on what this was going to cost to put this together. So, yeah, it was it's been a long time coming around, and when somebody says to you, "I think we should do this," you take them at their word and you go and do it. And the guys have been brilliant to get
yeah,
Dan and Max and Simon over, along with Ian
brilliant.
Taylor, is
Yeah.
fantastic. So we're going to have a great day. I promise people there'll be there'll be nothing scripted from me, that's for sure. We're just going to do it exactly as we do this, and just have a chat and have a bit of interaction with the guys, and we'll just have a good day and a few drinks and good crack. And I'm looking forward to the after party where I can go and chat and talk to everybody who's there. So should be good fun.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, as I say, I think it's going to be good fun. I think it's going to be good crack. And if nothing else, it'll be a massive Aston Villa meetup. Villa are back at one of Europe's tables again. And we should, for. There was a comment in there. Where was everybody? We were in the championship. I think everybody was at home watching through their fingers, hoping we could get out of the championship for as quicker than we actually did. But look, it's time to puff out our chest, I think, and be proud of what we achieved last season, be proud of what we are to achieve this season as well, and the amount of people that I specifically in the winter months when I'm walking around with my For the Love of Pomegranate hat on, people go, "Oh my God, is that a Villa hat?" I follow Villa as well. Even in work during the week, I had two people. Now, obviously, they know I follow Villa because I work from this very spot. But I mentioned them I was doing a podcast, and they were there. "Oh my God, do you do a Villa podcast? My dad's a Villa fan." And things like that. It's just bonkers the amount of fans that are over here that still follow Aston Villa. So it's nice. Hopefully people enjoy it. That's really what it's about. Like Michael Huggins says, no swearing, Paddy. There will be swearing. There's no way I'm not going to swear when I'm up on stage as well. It's like there's a reason it's over 18s. And it's not because we're going to have dancers like in the darts or anything like that bringing us in or anything. It's not. It's just because we might throw a few F-bombs around the place.
Yeah, I'll have to watch my F-bombs, seeing as my mother will be in the audience. So yeah, I'll be on my best behavior. Not.
Oh well, yeah. Oh well, we might turn off your microphone, so we get a bleep machine in for you. We get a bleep machine.
She's well used to me at this stage.
She has watched the match with you, yeah. She definitely has.
Oh, lots of times, yeah. She's attended matches with me over the years.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and so look, as I say, it's so Chad, actually good to see you, Chad. Chad asks how many people were we expecting to turn up? There will be about 300 people. Yeah, so about 300 people will be there. So
280 tickets sold out, plus everybody else is going to help us out on the day. When people are arriving, there is a photo booth. Go in there, take pictures. Myself and Neil will be buzzing around. If we can get in with you, we will. We also have some For the Love of Pomegranate merchandise that we'd love to shift on. So if anyone's feeling that way inclined, that's the only thing in the venue you have to pay cash for. So just be mindful of that. So do your damnedest, and we'll have a great day, and we'll take loads of pictures. If you're there, take pictures. Tag me and Neil in it. Do your best to light up the Villa social media this weekend with this podcast, because it's going to be good fun and good crack.
Absolutely. Ronan Ward asks, is there any harp on draft? Asking for a friend. I know who that friend is, and I don't think they sell harp in this establishment, but if he wants to bring his own keg, they'll hook it up for him. Harpic, it's that's why they removed the last two letters from Harpic so they could sell it on draft. Stuff is wild. Paddy, I think that's kind of going to do it for us. Busy couple of days, and that's why we haven't been on much over the last couple of days. There hasn't been that much to talk about, but we've been busy trying to get this ready. Even if this is even a modicum of success, it won't be the last one we do, because I've had fun putting it together, and I've as I say, it's nice. It's nice to get a Villa gathering together, because the amount of Villa fans is kind of brought out of the woodwork in a good way. I mean that very much in a good way. Like even friends of mine, even people I know, acquaintances of mine. Oh yeah, I follow Villa as well. Like they would have known I would have followed Villa. Like, but now they're really getting back into following Villa again, and it's good to see. So And thanks so much to all of you for your support as well.
Absolutely. It's absolutely mind-blowing to think that there's 280 people after buying tickets to come and see us. And we had sold out before the most of the guests were announced, which was absolutely nuts as well. So it just goes to show the support we've had from our little parish we have here on the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. So it is really, really nice. And I haven't told you this yet, Neil, but I have actually got part 2 of this live podcast provisionally booked, because they told me the date was available, so I provisionally booked it. So we'll cross that bridge when we see if we can get through this weekend and be still standing by the time we move on to the after party.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll let you break it to my missus for part 2 of this one, Paddy. I'll let you break it to her, as opposed to me. But I don't know how the hell I'm getting to hop on a train tomorrow in the middle of the day and not come back until late Sunday afternoon. I think she had some sort of a weakness or fell and hit her head at some stage. But I'm away for the weekend, and if anyone spots me sober, make sure that I rectify that situation very, very quickly.
Well, once you're sober, when we arrive at the venue, we can rectify the situation then, so you can slowly build yourself up while we're up there on that stage. But let's get through this one without making a complete show of ourselves. We can do that later on in the day.
We won't Johnny Vegas it. Anyway. Excellent. Well, listen, look, we're going to leave it at that, guys. It's nearly 11 o'clock, and while we are long past needing to get beauty sleep, myself and Paddy, it would be no harm to hit the hay so that we can make a full run of the day tomorrow. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching and for listening. Really appreciate it. As I said, we'll be very inactive. Well, actually, no, we'll probably be flooding social media at the weekend with pictures and stuff like that. But from a podcasting point of view, probably be middle to the end of next week by the time we're back again. Just ramping up, I suppose, for when Villa are back in action once more. But in the meantime, everybody, stay safe and stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.